Let's get back to the start of your content creation journey then. How did that come about?
To be fair, I was just at the gym one day with my mate. I think I saw Jensen Aliandru. He was doing the non-league content at the time. And I thought it was quite funny. This was when he was still small, by the way. I think at this point he only had like 20k followers, just a fraction of what he is nowadays. But I thought I was showing him, I was like, this is really cool content.
Yeah.
But what he was doing was just going to random non-league games, and he was like, it was just more about like, because he's really funny. Like, I think that guy could do stand-up comedy. And the thing is, I can't. But what I've saw in that is like, back in the day when I went to EFL games, right, I used to love football for different to what most people love football for. Like, my mate was a Brentford fan, and he would get a random away ticket to Reading. And normally he would go with his friend, he couldn't make it, so he took me to a game. And I went with him, and obviously his friends were like, people part of the Brentford firm, like they called themselves the BYE back in the day and stuff, right? He wasn't in it specifically, but he had friends, and I met his friends, and they all had the Weekend Offender, the CP Company. At first you're thinking, damn, this is I didn't know this type of stuff happened in football. I thought it was all like just for a laugh, but it was actually proper serious. I mean, one of the guys gives me like my first pint I ever drank in my life. It was a pint of Stella. And, I drank it. I pulled a weird face at first because, when you first try beer, and they all started laughing at me. And then I was like, you try to be a man. Like, in front of
I love it.
Yeah, I love it. Like, inside, I was dying. I was 15 at the time. And I was like, don't drink underage.
Yes,
do not
do that.
But, I was a bit of a rebel, so I did it. And when we got to a game, I met more of like the top guy there, and he put his arm around my shoulder. He's like, "You're alright, mate. You're for a game today." And like, it was the first time I went to a away end. I was like, I was following suit with what they were doing. They were just pointing at random people, showing them wanker signs. This, middle way.
Go to Forest
EFL football. I was like, they were giving it large, and I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life, because you're not going to see them after, because we were all on the first train back after. I was like,
to do it and gone.
The BYE lot themselves, I don't know where they were, but me and my mate, he weren't part of that. We were on the first train back afterwards. I pointed at the guy. I was like, meet me outside. And I was on the first train back. But it was the coolest thing. My head was in such a buzz. Like, it was such a rush of adrenaline, and I loved it. And fast forward to these days. I had that idea in my head. I was at gym. Me and my friend were just talking about what we want to do in life and stuff like that. And I said to him, like, I want to make something of myself. Like, I don't want to just follow the regular. Nothing against people who do the regular 9 to 5, because the world can't run without them people, and it's really important to have them. But for me, it isn't something that appealed to me. Like, if you knew me back in school, I had a short attention span. My concentration was all over the place. I was always like focused on other things, if that makes sense. And anyways, I was at gym, and it just all flashed in my all flashed in my head. And I started. It was a slow start. But kept consistent week by week, and turned into something. And the Wimbledon fans, I always respect them because they were so welcoming. Like, someone comes in right with a mic every week that you don't usually see, and they're like, you would instantly think like, what is this guy doing? But like, they're very warm to it and very welcoming, and I'm always grateful for how they were. And I got to meet, because I went to every away day since, like pretty much every away day, and it's a whole community, and you grow into everyone, and everyone's great. I loved it. I loved every single bit of it, man. So yeah, I'm like, for me, it's not even about the money. Like, your favorite TikToker is probably broke. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Like, I've met TikTokers with 500k followers and stuff, right? And they're struggling for money, and because like there's no money in it. Unless you got it in YouTube or streaming or whatever. Or you're just Jensen and you're just massive. I've heard this guy's earning a lot. But for me, like, it wasn't ever about money. I mean, I still have a day job. I still have to work, and I still have to like fund these away days. Like, you've been on a away day before, you're paying for a train ticket, you're paying for a match ticket, you're paying for drinks, everything. It's just like, next thing you know, it's like £200.
Yeah, adds up quick.
Just blew off. And yeah, man. So, but what drives me, man, like, if I was doing anything else, man, would I receive the same love as I do if doing TikTok? Because I know any other job I've ever worked, I never received I've never had someone come up to me and go, you know what you've done has really like, it's really inspiring. You know, your content has made my day. You know, these are just random strangers telling me this. If, you know, and I greatly appreciate it. If I was at work, I would never ever receive that type of love, man. So it's just that drive I get every week when I get someone, you know, you've made great, I love your content, you know. Yeah, I get the bad comments, the hate comments, but the truth is, like, if I didn't get the love here, I wouldn't have gotten love anywhere else.
True.
So it's like, it massively outweighs the hate. So yeah, man.
Sounds like something you really enjoy, so I think that's good to hear.
Yeah.
So sometimes I feel like going into like content creation, it can be a bit of a thing where you kind of do well and it kind of becomes a bit of just like a job where you're kind of doing it. But from the way you're saying it, it just sounds like you just genuinely really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think it's nice to see, because I think it won't feel like a job if you enjoy it, which is quite cliche.
Yeah.
But you know, at least from the way you're explaining it, it sounds like you just really enjoy it.
For me, it's pure passion. Like, I don't know, if you look at my channel, look through my channel, there's not really like, you don't see ads anywhere really.
No,
like,
no.
Unless I feel it relates to my content. Like I recently did something with via travel, and I was like, you know what, this is a great idea. You know, carpooling for away fans, and you know, because you know the coaches, the trains, you know, all that stuff. And I thought this would be a great idea. So
is that the thing where like you can just go in a car with another fan and
and just go to the same game? And I thought, you know, this is good, this resonates. But like, you know, I don't just do random adverts or, you know, ads and stuff like that. For me, it's just pure passion. I'm passionate when I make even if I don't receive any money from it, or like, you know, any TikTokers out there, you know, the RPM is terrible. For me, it's just the love I get for what I do and what I make is somewhere where I would never ever get love anywhere else. So it's always massively appreciated. Like, you know, I would have like a 15-year-old like kid just randomly come up to me while I'm doing content and go, you know, I love your content. Like, you know, your content, I was feeling down and your content made my day, all of that stuff. And that little thing there is a lot more to me than any paycheck I've received in my life.
Yeah.
And, you know, if I died broke one day, so what? At least I can look back and see that, you know, I created this thing, like I made a difference in some sort of way. And that's what matters to me.
Yeah, no, most certainly. I think that's perfectly put. You mentioned about having hate comments. I think it's quite important to talk about it because, you know, everybody deals with it in their own different way. Some people, they will go ahead and let it get to them. How do you not let that happen?
I don't know. To be like, you know, I grew up, you know, I came from a poor family. So if you come from a poor family, you grow up with other poor kids and stuff like that. So growing up as like a poor guy and everything, you know, I don't know if any of you could relate, but you know, you go out on the streets to play, you know, you're instantly getting like insulted and cussed, and you like from a young age you're just learning to have a backbone and stuff like that. Like, you know, I've been in fights in school and stuff, you know, from a young age you just learn to have a backbone. And from the like past I've had and everything I've been through, when I see hate comments now, I'm just like, this really does not affect some random guy saying, oh, you take a mic to a away end, like, how dare you? It doesn't like bother me at all. But with any other things I've received in the past, it's surface level. It's just like,
when you're going to say the same stuff, realistically.
Exactly. And it boosts engagement at the end of the day. Like, you know, one comment, it just boosts it.
Exactly.
So that's why I care.
They've seen the content, they've commented, I've got what I wanted.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
It's like we get hate comments quite a lot, especially on TikTok. But for me, I just laugh at it.
Yeah.
Just laugh at it.
But also, you can make your opinion if someone doesn't
oh
agree with
yeah,
it.
everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
I must say, some hate comments are good though. Like,
You have to look at it and go, you know what, I respect the commitment to do
Some
that.
of them are like really creative
Yeah.
because I do some TikTok lives myself. So, you know, you get people in there and they'll
nice Scouse accent.
Yeah, nice Scouse accent. Honestly, if I had £1 for every single time someone came in and commented, I'd have a lot of money.
Yeah.
But then some of them are more like creative, and I'm like,
you know what?
fair enough.
Yeah.
Like I can't really criticise it because
You just have to clap them.
Well, yeah, because you've actually gone ahead and thought about it. Not to say doing hate comments is good, guys. Do not do that. No, not at all.
I mean, engagement-wise.
I mean, it helps, but don't just don't be mean. That's
as
the
long as
moral
it's
story.
like just actually quite funny. If we can like just sit down and go, you know what?
Mate, I just laugh about it. It's so funny. Some of the
but most of these guys I don't see in real life. Like, man, I get some comments, right? Consistent offenders, right? And then, you know, we play that team or something. I never see them. Like they know they can see that lad holding a mic, right? You know, I don't mind if a hate comment came up to me in real life and said, you know what, your content sucks. Like, you know, I had that once in the past before.
Really?
I just shrug my shoulders. I'm just like, it's funny. Like,
Respect,
all right.
you actually came up. At least you actually said
Yeah, no,
something.
like, how are these people? Like, I'd love to have like a conversation with them. Just be like,
How did that
Why?
go? Did he just walk off in the end? Or?
I don't know. His mates were there. He was like, you know, sometimes you can't tell they're joking or not, because I've got this whole thing on my channel where it's just like, you know, you can shove your TikTok up your ass, blah blah blah.
Right.
Some of them do it because they know I upload it on my video afterwards, or like put some hate on my video afterwards, and they're like, you know, people laugh at it and like,
it's a minute of fame. Or
But I love it as well. Like, you know, at the end of the day, like, you know, in some way I see it as appreciation, because you're like, you know, you see my content before, and you know, you're going through out your way to go, you know, you can show your TikTok. I love it. Like, it's something. It's I don't get hurt by it. I take no offense. Like, if someone, you know, I've had a whole away and chant before, you know, your TikTok shit now for hardcore phone, blah blah blah, and I'm like, this is amazing.
That means they recognize you. That's good.
No, because you know, I'd always understand if people don't rate my content. I completely understand. Like, you know, you're completely entitled to think me having a mic in a way and it's terrible. Like, your game's gone, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
I'm just like, it is what it is. Like, if it weren't me, it's gonna be someone else at the end of the day. Like, you know, we live in a world where we've got so many football content. But this is how I view my content as different though. Like, I try to put the stuff that you don't really see on media. Like, you know, how many times you could scroll on the app and you don't see, you know, you see these like massive interviews and no one's wearing the Weekend Defender, no one's wearing the CP comment. Like, you know, true fans who go week in, week out, who literally, like, in some cases, some of them, like, you know, fight for their club. So it's just like, I've never really seen that side. And that's the side, going back to when I went to my first away day with my friend who was a Brentford fan.
Yeah.
That's what got me into football. And that's initially what I just wanted to show. I was like, you know, and you know, some people appreciate it, some people don't. And it is what it is. But
no.
My favorite comment though was someone called me a pineapple head. I've had a
What?
And once I rated an Accrington pie. Terrible. They went out their way to message me, stop being a fussy fuss pot, you turnip. And I'm like,
my God.
He's like, this is great.
Who sits there and thinks of that stuff? Like,
It's quite
No,
funny.
but it's amazing. I genuinely love it. Like, some of them sometimes are so funny, because I sent it to my group chat that I have, and they start using it against me. They're like, "Oh, you pineapple head."
turn it.
Out of nowhere.
God.
I think it's
No, it's great. It's great.
Yeah. It's not sort of the similar thing, but like when I'm doing commentary, sometimes if there's no real home or away ends down in the National League South, sometimes the majority of the games aren't segregated. So if they've not got a media area, you're sort of right near to some of the away fans. And if I'm going mental being too loud, you do get a few
couple of
people.
hecklers.
Yeah, you get people shouting at you like, be quiet, you know. They say some other words too, but I'm not going to say those.
But yeah, the hecklers are funny.
Yeah, like the fact you had a chant made about yourself though, that's crazy.
I think the funniest thing is sometimes if it catches you off guard and
Yeah.
you just realise it's quite funny.
Yeah,
Like, you know, sometimes you can be recording and you try and keep a straight face and you're like, hang on a minute, this is actually quite good.
It's the most I think we played Swindon on Boxing Day. I had a Just Jeep beanie on, and it's the most random, like, you see a random guy in a way with a microphone with Just Jeep beanie, right? And then you got the whole way and going, you can stick your TikTok up your ass, you can stick your it's just a random thing. It's just like never seen before. It's just the most random memeable video. Like, it's just like, you know, it's so unserious. It's like, because, you know, I think it's just a Just Jeep beanie just makes it, man.
I mean, it's
But
like I've got a thing on the podcast. Birmingham fans basically hate me.
Yeah.
And
No, it's because you cuss them out all the time. You just say that.
It's fair enough. Matt, one of our hosts, he went up to Birmingham Leicester because he's a Leicester fan, and he literally had like people come up to him and say, "You're that guy from the podcast or TikTok." Yeah, you're mates with that Forest fan who hates us, don't you? And I'm like,
You're getting
Jesus,
called
I'm
out.
getting regular. Yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, it's just people are passionate about their club, so
Oh, yeah.
I can't knock it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's, you
That's
know,
what football's about, though.
Yeah,
Like, realistically, it wouldn't be as big as it is if you didn't have those fans.
this is
So,
the
you
thing.
know.
If I wasn't a content creator and I was just a standard AFC Wimbledon fan,
Yeah.
I'll probably be giving it large to all
Exactly.
the.
Yeah,
all the-
yeah.
And it
You are
makes good
so-
content for you. Someone come up to you, makes good content for you.
No,
you know
it's
what I mean?
it's not like I value everyone's opinion. So like when they come up to me and, you know, they say something, it's like, fair enough. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you don't like my content, fair enough. You don't
Yeah.
have to like it.
Yeah.